Yo, what's up? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm James.
Nikhil.
Nikhil?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
Sneha.
Sayan?
Sneha.
Sneha.
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you both. Where are you from?
San Francisco.
Oh, cool, cool. Welcome. Thanks for stopping and checking out our footage. Have you ever seen footage of animals be slaughtered before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah? Where'd you see it?
Just online on YouTube.
Okay, cool, cool.
Like PETA videos.
Yeah. What about you, bro?
Yeah.
You
same
seen it
thing.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it in real life?
Yes.
Have you? Where at, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, I was born in India,
Yeah.
so like the way they sell meat
Yeah,
is
it's very
pretty much
inhumane.
like us.
It's
It's not.
very
It's
It's
not
very
like-
inhumane.
Yeah, it's. We just have butcher shops, so pretty
Oh,
much.
okay.
Like you just pick the chicken, and then they say, okay, well, they just chop it right in front of you, and then they do it.
Right. Wow, so you have seen it a lot. And you mentioned it's inhumane. What's inhumane about it?
Well, I don't know, just the way that they're all packed in together. They don't really get
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
live,
They're in
so to
cages.
speak. They're in cages. And
Yeah, okay.
It's just, I mean, there's ethical meat. I'm a vegetarian myself.
Okay, yeah.
I've been
What-
vegan for a while, but then I'm a vegetarian for the
Yeah,
most part.
yeah.
So,
What is ethical meat?
I guess there isn't.
Well, is there? I don't know. I'm just asking. If you think there is, and if there is, what is
Well,
it?
there's maybe lesser evil.
That is a better way.
Lesser
That's how I would
evil, yeah.
describe it.
Yeah.
A lesser of two evils. Although a lesser of two evils is still
evil.
Exactly.
Correct, yes.
We shouldn't be looking for the right way to do the wrong thing. That's how I feel.
It's so funny you say that because literally, like, so he was like feasting on chicken wings. And he's like, do you want me to like?
Oh yeah,
switch
yeah.
over to,
Yeah, I mean,
being a
I was-
vegetarian?
Wait, can I hear the rest of this? Can I see the rest of this? Yeah, go on. But I want to hear that
Because he
too.
was like, oh, well, don't you feel bad about it because
Yeah.
I'm an ethical vegetarian.
Sure.
It's like, but you never mentioned it. Like, as I'm feasting on this, you don't
Does this
feel bad
bother you?
even like the least bit. And then I said no because you would have to make that decision for yourself. I'm sorry, I'm like
No.
had a couple of drinks.
No, please. I'm really appreciating
Slurring
it.
a little bit.
No, I can read through that.
Yeah.
So and does it bother you at all?
It doesn't, and I think about that
Okay.
because we have a dog.
Yeah.
And we feed him meat.
Yeah.
And I
we've talked about it so many times. Like, it's so crazy that we're feeding our dog chicken,
Yeah.
feeding one animal by killing another animal. Like,
Absolutely.
I mean, we're probably doing the right thing. Like
Actually, he doesn't. Actually, he doesn't.
need-
The longest living dog
read
ever
about
is a
that.
vegan dog.
I told him, yeah.
Dogs are just like humans. They can
Yeah.
survive perfectly well. In fact, probably much better. Many dogs get healthier and different allergies, different things like that tend to clear up, especially with the meat that dogs eat. That's off the floor of the slaughterhouse kind of thing. That's the most garbage of
Well,
the garbage.
they have all these grades now. I try my best. I've
Yeah,
never cooked
yeah.
meat, and then I only started doing
she's
it
a
for my
vegan, but
dog.
she cooks meat for our dog.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
a
Cool.
vegan. I'm
Yeah.
not
Well,
a
if
vegan
you're gonna cook meat for your dog, you could easily. There's lots of vegan dog food recipes online, so you don't have to kill other animals to keep one animal
Yeah,
alive.
we've really been thinking
You've thought about it. You've talked
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you say you don't feel bad, but do you feel bad for the animal?
I feel terrible for the animal.
Okay,
I
okay.
always feel bad.
So
I only did it because he stopped eating his kibble. And then,
no, I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm
him.
talking about. Yeah.
No, I want him to make that decision for himself.
Of course,
I
of
don't- I don't
course.
want to impose my choices and my beliefs on him.
But do you think that you don't have
It's not
you
a
can't
problem.
impose
Well,
anything.
that's
You
not
can
the
never
problem
force
that
him.
people have with vegans
Absolutely.
and with Milton vegans,
Oh,
which they don't
I
have that
agree.
with anyone else. Like you could be walking on Hawaii with a gun in their hand.
Well, that's because almost everybody is not vegan.
yes.
so
they
it's-
feel triggered by it. They feel
Exactly.
really, like,
So they feel
defensive.
comfortable in their group, doing the wrong thing together.
Yeah.
I don't really need to do it because not that many other people are doing it yet, although more and more are doing it every day. But still, it shouldn't be about what everybody else in the group's doing. It should be about, do I contribute to violence and can I stop contributing to violence? And when the answer is yes, so simply, then we really should. I mean, and that's why I asked about the victims, because from the victim's point of view, there's no ethical meat.
Correct.
There's,
I agree.
Yeah. There's no even if I kill you in your sleep, right, and you don't feel it or see it coming, that's not an ethical murder, and that never happens to these animals anyway. It's horrific how they die or how they're killed. But even if it wasn't, it's still robbing their life against their will. That's one of the greatest cruelties that there will ever be.
Yep.
So I hear what you're saying, though. You don't want to impose your views, but for me, because I don't want to impose my views either, but I also want to be clear about what my views are. If you were eating chicken in front of me, it would bother me. Not because I'd think, oh, I'm sitting with this bad person, but because I'd be thinking about what that animal went through from birth, right from birth, all the way to their death a very short while later. So that's why it would bother me, because although mostly ignorantly, and I just use that in the way of being not really that aware of it, not in a derogatory way at all, because you're not that aware of what you're doing, when you buy these chicken wings, for example, you are creating a demand for more chickens to be bred into existence, for them to have their throats slit and their heads cut off. And throat slitting, bro, it's a big deal, man.
It is a big deal.
But some people don't think it is. I used to not think so, and that's because I didn't see animals as worth that consideration. So most people believe that. It's a common belief. It's called speciesism, just like racism, sexism, speciesism. What is less valuable about these animals when it comes to whether they deserve to be free from harm and suffering? You know, if let me put it this way. If somebody slits a throat on this street right now, it's one of the biggest deals you'll ever hear about in Honolulu. But you just bought chicken wings 2 seconds ago from a murder victim who had their throat slit. So what's the difference? What's the difference between, like, is there one? And maybe there is. That's why I'm asking. Please tell me.
Native societies,
Yeah.
that are mostly like into, they don't have like factory farming and things of that nature. They only kill as much as they eat.
Okay.
And then their carbon footprint is minimal.
Much less.
And they
A lesser of two
value
evils.
the animal because they use most of it. Well,
I mean, sure.
I feel like meat should be super expensive.
I feel like meat should not be an option to purchase.
And I say that as a vegetarian all my life.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then whatever brief period of veganism, it was difficult because if I was traveling.
Yeah. I
wouldn't accommodate,
understand.
you know?
Sometimes it takes a few tries, just like quitting smoking.
It's terrible because people don't accommodate you, and then you're kind of like judged for being kind of
a little bit different. Yeah, it can be challenging at first.
Yes.
You get used to it after a while,
get
and then it
used
becomes
to
so
it.
easy. But at
You
first,
have to
I
plan
remember there were
ahead.
challenges for sure. I didn't know
but
what the hell I
I'm
was
just
doing.
saying that-
Well, can I just pause you on that? Can you hold that thought? Because I just wanted to say something
Sure.
about something you just said. Thank you. Please remember what you were going to say.
Yes. I'll
The
try.
natives. Yeah, think of a key word.
Because, like, we come from a third world country
Yeah.
originally, and so we've seen where
Killing
meat
for
is-
survival.
Killing for survival.
That's one
and
thing.
It's
That's
not a treat. It's not because it's
That's a necessary evil.
exactly.
But that's
And
not what we're
it's-
talking about, right?
okay.
That's not what we're talking
'Cause
about.
It wouldn't work here because here it's like
It's not necessary. We have an abundance of plant foods. We even have vegan meat now.
and
mate,
it's,
you know.
it's the same as
Vegan
like
soup.
I mean, vegan
It's
everything,
amazing.
bro. Vegan, you name it. Healthier, just as delicious, tastes the same. You wouldn't even know.
It's
No
so
throat
easy now.
slitting.
It's easy.
Much better for the environment. Much better for our health. We're eating plants instead of corpses, instead of dead bodies.
Well, wouldn't it make more sense,
Yeah.
like promoting your cause to like the heavy hitters, like the industries? as
No,
opposed to
it wouldn't.
individuals?
No, it
Like,
wouldn't.
Wouldn't this take longer?
No. In fact, this is the only. Well, I mean, there's different ways. Like you can adjust laws and different things. But while 99% of people believe that it's okay to kill animals because they like how they taste, what kind
Which
of law?
is- yeah, which is
What kind of
terrible.
laws are we going to see? Nothing special. What we need and what will change the industries initially until they're completely phased out is people who are boycotting them. And then they'll be like, holy shit, people aren't buying our product anymore. Let's try to make it a little bit more ethical. Let's have the cages a little bit bigger. Let's,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
still
give.
terrible. Yeah, it's still terrible.
But that's what they'll do next, and eventually they'll just be phased out completely because there's no ethical slavery, there's no ethical slaughterhouse. But until we, me and you, us, they only exist, those slaughterhouses and these industries, because of us.
Yep.
And as soon as we start putting our money somewhere else, that's them gone, completely gone. So this is the way. If we try to approach industries, they're just going to laugh at us. If we approach people like you, who are already chill, kind, respectful people, and just
I was a vegetarian for the first 20 years of my life. And
Oh,
it was,
okay.
And it was predominantly a selfish reason for me because I was a skinny lad growing up.
Yeah.
And the reason why I grew up, I started eating meat was, I just wanted to this is the most like
The biggest
weight-wise,
he's
this is
Oh,
the bulkiest
cool,
I've been in
cool.
my
Good
life,
for you,
okay?
bro. Good for you.
So I just wanted to be like not called that
Not
skinny
tiny,
guy
skinny
anymore.
guy. Absolutely.
And
Well,
then
it's
I
so
just
funny, like even at my heaviest, my cholesterol levels were like lower than him
Yeah,
because I was
obviously.
always
Well, yeah, you're eating it. You can't get cholesterol in,
yeah.
in
And then
plants.
again,
There's
like,
none.
I was since I was a vegetarian, I started eating meat at a later stage in my life. I only stuck to like white meat.
But then it's
But then
one animal.
it's not
like,
Sure,
it's
sure.
not
better
like
than
it's
the
not
other,
like
you
it's.
know?
I'm justifying my reasons, right?
No, you're just telling me your timeline.
Yeah.
Let me give you some good news. The world record holding strongman is a vegan, Mr. Universe of a few years ago, world record holding ultra marathoner, tons of bodybuilders, NFL players, MMA fighters.
I'm vegan.
She's vegan. Let me see him. Let me see him. Come on. Oh, you didn't even
Don't
flex.
my shirt. Don't make me-
I just got a six pack. You don't need to worry about it, bro. All it is calories. Where you get those calories from, whether it's from flesh or from plants, it doesn't matter. And as well, if you're a little bit worried about protein, not that you have to, you can get vegan protein, pea protein, rice protein, soy protein, lots of options. So that's another way to get a lot of calories in. A lot of nut butters are really high calorie foods. Nuts and nut butters.
You won't believe it. Like
Yeah.
I was literally while we were having the conversation, I asked her, I just need a reason
Yeah.
to become vegan.
He
or
told me that. He was
become
like, and-
vegetarian.
You were waiting for a reason.
He
I
was like,
waiting
give
for
me a reason.
Give me a reason. Like,
I
if you
have
tell
one.
me- like I mean, this
I have a
conversation
million.
so
I have a
weird.
million
This
reasons.
conversation, like it's,
He was like,
it's
just
from
try
It's a
and
sign
convince
from the
me.
gods,
Just
man.
try and convince
Can
me.
I give you a few reasons that I haven't already? Okay, vegetarian's a great start. You said you're an ethical vegetarian. In my opinion, and I believe it's a fact, there's no such thing as an ethical vegetarian because you can't ethically consume dairy or eggs.
Well, I consume very little dairy.
Okay.
Yeah, only when I
Yeah.
have to. I drink like soy milk.
Oh, right, you're
all
almost
that.
there.
It's
So-
when I go out and I can't find anything,
Right.
which I will eat dairy.
Oh, so that's the only time.
Yeah.
So you're basically
I'm trying
vegan.
my
You want to be
best.
vegan. The thing that holds you back is just convenience.
Convenience, yes, and then I'm practical at the end of the day. You know.
Okay.
I think about. I
she
don't want
had-
to inconvenience my parents. Like my parents. will
Okay,
offer
so it's
me-
convenience. It's convenience.
Yes,
Mostly.
convenience.
You don't want to
Be
inconvenience.
respectful of
Well,
your-
what about the victim? What about respecting the victim?
You know, we could have so many arguments. So I brought the whole topic of like different cultures
Yeah,
having
yeah.
their own cultural practices.
Do you
How
think that culture, your culture, if it has violence involved in it, that justifies that violence?
It shouldn't. But
No,
it really
it shouldn't.
depends. What about the animal kingdom? You know, you have.
They kill to
animals-
survive.
They kill to survive.
We don't have to do that though.
But then what about like certain communities that are not the developed world? you
Survival
know?
is a
Yeah, like
survival
someone
is
in
survival.
bush-
Survival
in
is
bush
totally
life.
fair. Survival
Yes.
is totally fair.
Yes.
But culture does not justify violence. Just if you've had violence in your culture for a million years, whatever, who gives a shit? If genital mutilation is part of culture, it doesn't make it
Bullshit.
okay.
That is,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, okay, cool. But I can understand where you would come from with that, because I've heard it a million times and I ask myself that same question. But ultimately, if your culture has violence in it, let's evolve our culture so it
Yeah.
doesn't, because
Yeah.
violence is the worst thing in our society, no matter who the victim is. What did you just say? I wanted to touch on something you just said to me, man. Do you remember?
Like the reason.
Okay, bro. I can tell, I can feel it. There's no way you're a violent guy. Every time you're purchasing animal products, you're paying for the worst kind of violence. In the rest of your life, nothing comes close to it. Nothing comes close to it. 3 times a day, you are paying for animals get raped, they get their beaks cut off, they get their tails cut off, they get castrated without pain relief. Mothers are separated from their babies. The babies in the egg and dairy industry are murdered, the males straight away because they don't produce those products. It's just, bro, I can't even, the amount of violence, the animal holocaust with 8 billion deaths every single day. 8 billion lives a day are murdered because of this. You do not belong in that system. You are not that kind of person. Now, you're born into a culture that says you are. That says you need meat for protein, dairy for calcium, eggs for omegas, animals, fish don't feel pain, animals are here for us to use, it's in our culture, blah, 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 blah. There's so many excuses, man. None of them justify it. That's not you. When you become vegan, that's what I was talking about, vegetarianism. There's no ethical consumption of other animal products. So vegetarian's a great step. I went vegetarian for nearly a year first, about 6 years ago, 7 years ago. great step. It helps you get there. There's many different ways. Some people cut out animal products for breakfast, then lunch, then dinner. Some people go vegan overnight. Some people watch documentaries and figure it out. Some people do a challenge for 22 days. There's lots of different ways. Vegetarian's one way. You go vegetarian first. But you don't stop there because you're still purchasing products that are part of the system, part of the torture, part of the violence.
Don't you think that your approach kind of alienates people? Because I'm 100% in your corner, because I used to work for a green bank. And we try to do this. We try to have meatless Mondays.
Cool.
Part of the committee that tried to initiate it. Well, we had to shut it down because our major, one of our shareholders, he owned a ranch.
How
and he
corrupt.
was triggered.
Of course.
By even the idea of one day.
One meal even.
Yeah.
Of course.
I just think that you have to kind of win people over with honey. So you have to give them that win. Be great.
I am. That's what I said to you. It's a great first step. It's a great first step, but that isn't it. Would you, let's say a child abuser comes up to me and they say, yo, let me just try it. Let me just try this thought experiment. I abuse children 7 days a week. I used to abuse them 10 days a week. I used to abuse them 10 times a week. How do you feel about that? Am I going to be like, what? You don't abuse as many children anymore? That's so awesome. Good work. Okay, next. No way. I'm going to be like, wow, I'm really glad that you've taken a step to contributing to less violence, but please don't stop there. Yeah. Please go all the way, because if you can eliminate your contribution to violence in some way, please do it, because if you were the victim, you would desperately want your oppressors to do that, to let you be free. A little bit of animal products is a lot of violence. Eating meat or dairy or eggs once a year is like abusing a child once a year. You're abusing an animal once a year. Okay, it's great you don't do it 364 days of the year, but one a year is too many. It's just about recognizing that every animal product inherently has violence inside it. Suffering, death, oppression, slavery, slaughter. Every single animal product.
Even people that have their own pet chickens and eat unfertilized eggs.
When you take eggs from these chickens, if you didn't buy them from an industry which would have supported the killing of the male chicks and everything like that.
I've seen people that have beef.
No, I'm just about to give you the. So let's say that there's a rescued chicken, right? And they have a great life. When you take their eggs, it prompts their body to lay more eggs. And these are bodies already highly under stress. They've been selectively bred to lay an egg almost every single day or sometimes more, compared to about 20 in a year. So their body's already high amount of stress. When you take eggs, their bodies need to lay more, and that's extra stress. That's one example of why it would be bad. Another one I would say is if you eat eggs ever, you can't use the title I'm vegan. Look, accidents happen, and okay, you can still be vegan if you make an accident, whatever. But if you deliberately purchase or choose to eat an animal product, you can't say you're vegan. Vegan is a movement.
No honey,
no honey. Wait, let me finish my thought. Please. I am really glad, because I have a lot of answers.
I'm always playing the devil's advocate.
I love it. That's usually my role, and Sam and I have been talking about it lately too. All animal products come from there, right? So it's good to be vegetarian to start, but vegan is the least we should do. This isn't summer, oh my God, you're vegan. It's like, nah, yeah, cool. I don't need a pat on the back for no longer paying people to kill animals for me. We're in a society now where we don't need to. We have an abundance of foods. We have an abundance of information. We know that we can be healthier and do this. There's absolutely no reason for it. So I don't think the approach is wrong at all. I think you have to be...
It's such an emotional thing, because people associate
they're very
with
attached.
Family.
Yeah.
You're not just saying...
And I'm not saying don't eat anymore. I'm not saying don't eat with your family who eat animals. I think you should eat with them, even if you're a vegan. And I'm also not saying to change your whole culture. I'm saying if you usually put cow's milk in your curry, why don't you try coconut milk or soy milk or rice or almond or hazelnut milk? I'm not saying change, I'm saying change this. Take out the violence,
really
keep the recipe.
In our culture, 'cause Indian food is
You have so much good vegan food already.
It's pretty much vegan.
There's a lot of dairy. Oh, but you could easily do it. Exactly. And there's literally millions of recipes at your fingertips. You could go to something called challenge22.com. It's a free 22-day vegan challenge. Teaches you everything you need to know to do it sustainably. Gives you recipes, you free access to a registered dietitian, everything you need. And here's the next part. I don't know if you are religious in this way, but karma. Do you believe in karma? Yeah. A little bit. I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. I believe on some level if you know that you're contributing to a bad thing, that affects you negatively. So before this conversation, you were a little bit more ignorant. You had a vegetarian girlfriend who...
Wife.
Oh, I apologize. I'm so sorry. A vegetarian wife, congratulations on being together. That's a great thing. Who almost supported, maybe I'm wrong, but just how I heard it, maybe not supported, but had no problem with you eating animals in front of her. Maybe partly out of strategy, or maybe partly out of...
We talked about this.
Yeah.
I'm always showing him like
Okay,
documentaries,
sure.
I want him to like make that decision, because if he does it under sort of duress or like,
sure,
he's gonna resent.
I think it makes more sense.
No,
It makes more sense.
I completely
And
agree.
we always like come back to this.
Yeah.
All I meant was that, I guess I'll just say it this way. You weren't putting the pressure on, and potentially that was a good thing. It sounds like it was, because you seem quite open-minded.
Yeah.
But now you know a little bit more now after talking to me for the last 20 minutes. You have a few more questions answered, and now for you to eat animal products, it's just that little much worse, brother. It's just that little much worse. I mean, you can do it, you can still do it, but for your own core, for your own spirit, for your own heart, for your own soul, however you want to describe it, it's always going to be different now. You're going to look at meat and think about the victim. You're going to look at dairy and think, why, if I'm drinking the baby cow's milk, where's the baby cow? You're going to think about eggs and think about what happened to this chicken in order for her to lay so many eggs, and what conditions, and what happened when she stopped producing eggs. These are just a few more things that will probably come up in your mind. You probably notice veganism a little bit more, vegan foods, vegan meat. You know, I don't know. But all I'm saying is this, man. Not everybody goes vegan overnight. Maybe tomorrow you'll be vegan. I do not know. But you're a little bit closer now than you ever were before. And forget the animals for just 1 second, even though they are the core of this. Our fellow earthlings, our brothers and sisters, not less than, same but different kind of thing, you know? For you, this is a personal benefit for you that I'm talking about right now. What you're going to be doing when you do it, when you commit and you say, from this day on, I vow to never consume another animal product because I don't want to support something that goes along against my core values. When you make that commitment, that vow, which is easy, millions and millions and millions of people around the world have done it. I did it, I'm nothing special. When you do that, you are realigning with who you are in there, my friend. Compassionate, loving, respectful, empathetic or empathetic, I don't know how to say the word. You have more empathy. All the good things that we all are striving to feel more of individually and in the world, you align with it, and then your whole vibration changes, brother, and you start living a life that's more conscious. Sometimes it's painful because you look at a meat section a little bit differently, but ultimately you would never regret it, you would never change a thing, because it's better to be aware and make good choices than be ignorant and blissfully unaware.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, bro?
No.
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, let me just leave.
Really nice to meet you.
It was so great to meet you. I feel
So
like,
weird,
I think we were all meant to do this.
10 minutes ago.
I think we're all meant to do this. You have any more questions? Here's a lot of answers. There's some speeches and documentaries here. And what I talked about, the Challenge 22, free everything, and some other stuff, but that's the main
I don't
one.
need a challenge.
Let's just take it.
You don't need a challenge, but here's a free one. Just take it.
I'll take it.
There's some things there for you, my man. And if you ever need anything or want to chat to me or update me, which I would love, my Instagram is @JamesAspy. You can DM me. Oh, yeah, I'll chuck it in right now. And DM me, bro. You got questions? You want some recipes? Whatever. I'll be happy to help you out.
Conspiracy, that's the one.
That's one on the
Yeah.
James. Yeah, I'll do it. That's it. There you go, bro.
Thank you.
Okay, my friends, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for stopping. Thank you for being open-minded. Thank you for already taking paths on the journey, steps on the journey, and thank you for being such an open-minded guy. I'm really excited for you guys.
Thank you.
All right, adios.
Hello.
Hi, how you going? Hey, have we met?
You look familiar.
You look familiar.
Were you on Sandy's vegan cruise?
I was.
So was I.
What's up? I thought I recognized you. How you doing? Hello, how are you? I'm James.
Hi, James.
Pleasure
I'm
to meet you.
Lauren.
What's going on?